Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your boy Kenny, and this is Empire Season 4, Episode 3, and the name of this episode is Evil Manners. Man, this was a really good episode. I definitely enjoyed this, but before I get started, let me offer my love and condolences to everyone that was affected by the tragedy of Las Vegas, as well as the people who are affected by Hurricane Irma, Hurricane Harvey, Hurricane Maria, and Hurricane Jose. If you can actually lend any type of relief and support, anything you can, please do so, because our fellow man needs our help. Now, on with this review. Now, the episode opens up, Lucious is on the treadmill, Claudia is away for a few days, so she's kind of given the family strict instructions as to how to deal with Lucious until she returns. Cookie is actually getting ready for a photo shoot, because she's about to be on the cover of Forbes because she's just launched this new 2020 idea for Empire, and Lucious actually wants to know everything, the good and the bad, and right now the family is kind of taking the judgment call of Claudia, where she told him that he can't really he can't really have a lot of pressure so they're pretty much trying to tell him good things, but not trying to tell him the will of how Lucious really got down. So he's kind of asking these questions because Leia, his mother, was saying that he's a monster. When people tell me what made me a monster, how was I a monster? Why isn't no one telling me anything? So Hakeem says, "You punched me in the face," and then Jamal's like, "Yo, what the hell is wrong with you? Stop!" And he's like, "Well, come on, Jamal. Why don't you tell him how he dumped you in the trash can and shit?" And it was just like, "What? I did this? I did that?" I mean, Lucius is kind of shocked, when he's hearing some of the evil things he's done, and he actually apologized to Hakeem, but Cookie kind of gets in the middle of this, like, stop it. We're not going there. We're not gonna make this any worse. And then Lucius asked Cookie the question, "You said you were gone for 17 years. Why did you leave?" And then we see she gets a flashback of her going to jail and then her being processed and all of that. And she's like, "I got to go to work." Then we definitely get the Dubois. And we see Diane is at her throne, and she has her 2 grandchildren as well as D'Angelo there. And D'Angelo is drunk as all shit. Like, he is totally just inebriated. And I think it's still because he's still going through the loss of Cookie, because he was really in love with her. But, and plus he's kind of drinking because his mother's crazy as shit, and she's hell-bent on revenge. She then talks about the sons as being, this is the inverse version of the Wizard of Oz. Andre's the scarecrow. We're gonna pretty much mess with his brain. And then Jamal is supposed to be the Tin Man because he's guarded, and then you have Warren there. It's like, yes, but I'm gonna soften him to get to his heart. And then Diana was like, yes, so his mother can watch helplessly as she snatched it from his chest. And then all of a sudden, Angela was like, whore. And then he was like, "Well, Unc, you should, it's difference between being called a slut and then also it being, spurned by jealousy. And then he's like, yo, if anything, if you like, I can kick your ass back to San Diego and shit. And then she slapped the, Diane slapped the cup out of D'Angelo's hand and started going in on him like, look, you need to pull yourself together. You doing all this weak shit, ain't nobody got time for that. This is game time. We're about changing, we're about making the Lions pay for what they did to our family. And you're just sitting around here drinking yourself is not helping anything. So get your shit together. And then she says that Hakeem is the cowardly lion. And she's like, oh yes, and I'm going to be paying a visit to him as well. So we already see that Diane is hell-bent on revenge, and she has the whole thing set up. Alright, so we see that Cookie's having this photo shoot inside Lucious' office, and the photographer wants her to sit in Lucious' chair, and she's like, no, that's Lucious' chair, I'm not sitting there. But she's like, look, you are the head of the empire right now, so take your spot. So she takes pictures, and while she's taking these pictures, and the photographer is saying, like, you know, turn to your left, she's getting flashbacks of when she was processed in jail. Because her images of jail had played out through the whole episode, because, you know, she knows why she was away for 17 years, but she doesn't want to tell Lucious about what happened. So we definitely see that that's still playing on her mind the entire time. And then also we see Andre comes in, and pretty much he's saying that, you know, it's cool that you getting this, you know, this 2020, and you getting the cover of Forbes and everything, but we really don't have the liquidity right now to get it. And because he's like, we're Empire, we can get the money. She's like, well, yeah, but we have to go through the board to get any of that money, so therefore we're going to have to get an extension, but I got an idea of how to do it. So we see later on they go meet up with this guy. I forgot his name. I think his name was Maurice or something like that. If I'm wrong, put it down in the comments. But they went there to get an extension of the loan, and him with his bougie, stuck-up ass literally tells them, I'm sorry, but we cannot afford to extend your loan. We're not taking any cautious ventures on entertainment ventures at this time. And you can just look at him like he was just real smug, and he was getting off on the fact that he was kind of stopping Empire. And Cookie read him. Cookie was like, nah, nigga, you ain't really here to help us. You actually are happy right now that you're not giving us this loan, and you probably, you know, sitting there laughing to yourself that you're able to stop Empire from getting this loan. And she says that the thing is, I would call you a punk bougie coward, but I'm an executive officer at Empire Industries, and we'll find a way, so I bid you good day. And as soon as she walked off, she was like, bitch. I was like, you get his ass, Cookie. And then later on we find out that he's connected to the Dubois. So then we actually see that Lucious is actually hanging out with Jamal. You know, Jamal is trying to reconnect with him, and Jamal was really good in this episode because he really was really being patient. He was really being patient, you know, with Lucious. You know, any questions that Lucious had, he was asking them. He was playing the song that they wrote together, and, you know, he was kind of walking through sheet music and all of that. And then he was saying that, well, he was saying, so how do you put this sheet music onto audio? And Jamal's like, we got to go to the studio for that. So they take him to the studio. They get Thurston to let them in, you know, secretly. But he says that, look, and then Thirsty doesn't even know that Lucious has suffered brain damage because Lucious doesn't remember anybody. So they've been kind of keeping Lucious hidden, but Lucious is asking these questions, so Jamal decides to sneak him in the Empire, but no one can know he's there. But Thurston is like asking him questions. He was like, oh, Thurston, yes, I guess I rely on you a lot, huh? He's like, and then Thurston is kind of looking like something ain't right with your ass. I don't know what it is, but okay, let's keep it moving. And then this shit was funny because while they was walking, he was like, and all of a sudden Lucious asked Jamal, does he always wear suits like that? And Jamal was like, every damn day. That shit was funny. So Jamal takes them to the studios or whatever, and then he takes them to like the actual big mixer studio where he actually does some of his big hits. And also we see early on that Cookie is actually having a board meeting. We see I'm gonna get back to Lucious and Jamal being in the studio because Shine intervenes, but I want to bring Shine into the picture. Shine comes in the picture during a board meeting at Empire. Becky is now head of A&R. She's kind of developed this whole program as to, you know, who's responsible for what as far as getting these 2020, you know, deal done as far as all the albums. So, you know, she's pretty much laid out a game plan. Cookie's with it, and then all of a sudden, Shine comes into the meeting with his goons and with a damn dog. And she's like, get that mud out of here. And he's like, this dog goes everywhere with me. She's like, I wasn't talking about the dog. I was talking about your ass. And he's like, what you talking? And she says, well, and then Cookie's like, did you see yourself on the board? She only gave him one album. And he's like, I got 25% shares in this company. You know what I'm saying? Like, how you just gonna do me like that, Cookie? You know, Lucious would never do me like this. She's like, I'm not Lucious. This is me. And I'm running things now. So it is what it is. So later on, him and Cookie sit down. They pretty much do some negotiations. And he asks for 7 albums. Because, one, he wants his producer credit. He wants his momentum, and also he wants his name in lights. So he wants more to do, and plus he's the only viable producer right there, you know, in the company right now. So he's like, I'm one of the best producers you got. So why not use me? But then Cookie was like, all right, we'll work something out, but you know, you ain't getting no 10 album deal because he wanted 10 originally. So they negotiated first he went down to 7, but then they negotiated to 5. So he got at least a good 25% of the actual 2020 deal. So he's good with that, and he says, okay, I kind of like you at the helm, Cookie. I think we can work really well together. So going back to Lucious and Jamal, they're in the studio, they're vibing, doing their thing, and all of a sudden, damn Shine walks in. Now, Shine is the one motherfucker you don't want to know that Lucious has brain damage. Because we know Shine, as well as Andre, are thirsty for the Empire. And they're not going to let go. And neither one of them are not going to let go until they claim what's theirs. You know, they're that blood hungry for power. So Shine starts asking, you know, starts coming in, and all of a sudden Lucious like, oh, Moonshine, my friend Moonshine, we knew each other for a long, long time. I was like, poor Lucious, because he really doesn't remember, and Shine is kind of picking up something ain't right. He's like, yeah, we good. He's like, so, you know, he was saying that the funny thing, and then Lucious was like, it's funny that you're a producer, but we've never worked together. And he's like, yeah, you know, there's some reasons behind that. But hey, you know, we together now, and let's make something happen. But I got some killer shit right here for you. You know, it ain't this weak shit that, because, you know, Jamal actually played the actual song that he did with Lucious, and we can see that Lucious is really feeling the music. So it's like little by little he's getting it back, but he's not fully there yet. And we saw him trying to, you know, do like the change the levels and stuff, and he was messing that up. But then all of a sudden, that damn Shine puts in this gutter ass track. It flips Lucious out. He freaks out and runs out. And then, like, he starts to grab Jamal's like, what the fuck is going on? He's like, man, get your damn hands off of me, bruh. He's like, and pretty much, you know, Shine is like, what, you dumb now? What the fuck? You know, because he's saying, like, because now Shine is probably picking up now that, yes, something ain't right with Lucious. Lucious ain't the same. So we saw that go down. Then we actually, I'm going to talk about Hakeem real quick. Hakeem is at the house working on this song, and he's trying to get something more hard and more street. And, you know, Tiana is there playing with Bella, and as soon as, you know, the gunshots and the background music come on, Bella starts crying, and then he gets aggressive, and like, Tiana's like, Hakeem. He's like, well, come on, guys. He's like, come on now, I'm not cursing in front of her or nothing like that, but yeah, but you're scaring her. And then all of a sudden, we get a knock on the door, and guess who it is? It's Miss Anika. So Anika comes there to see Bella, and she's like, oh, Bella, I'm so happy to see you. Like, I'm here to take you home, baby. And she's like, and then all of a sudden they kind of looking at, and then all of a sudden Hakeem was like, she ain't going nowhere. And besides, we got plans for her today. And she's like, excuse me, but she's going home with me today. And he's saying that, look, you've been gone for 5 months. You just can't just come up here and just change things. And then all of a sudden, we saw Bella run to Tiana, and you know that made Anika mad as shit. That her baby is responding to Tiana, and she's saying that, look, you need to give this time, and like you need to let her get used to you. You've been gone for 5 months, and she let it be known. Your mother was gone for 17 years, and yet you still have your mother, and I'm still Bella's mother. And he's like, yeah. And he's like, yeah, I know that. He's like, yeah, we know that. Like, no. I want you to make sure that you don't forget that. That's my child. And I was like, ooh, Anika about to get rough. Like, y'all better, like, at the end of the day, we know how gutter Anika can get when she don't get her way. We saw what she did in season 1 to that rocker artist that was played by Courtney Love. We saw what she did with Rhonda, pushing her down the stairs and then eventually pushing her off the fucking building. And then we actually know about her being involved with Diane the entire time. Like, the whole time she knew what Bella was, but was faking to everyone else that she didn't know. So we know how messy Anika can get. So I'm just thinking, you may be opening up a can of worms, Hakeem, that may come back to bite both you and Tiana, knowing how Anika is. So we got that out the way. Now I'm going to talk about Andre. Andre is still being hounded by this detective, played by the beautiful, I think her name is Tiana Parrish. Correct me if I'm wrong, put it down in those comments. But, she's a detective, because, the first time they met, they was, trying to get it on in the bathroom, but, let's say, Andre had problem rising to the occasion. But, she is still probing, and she's pretty much with the LAPD, so, he has a conversation with Thirsty about the case, and he's saying that, look, they haven't been able to find Juliana. It's like she completely went ghost. She disappeared off the face of the planet. So, right now this investigation is still going on, but that's a good thing because they don't have no leads. And he's saying that, well, why the hell are they still looking? They don't have nothing. Why are they still probing? So then he goes and finds old girl, the detective, and he's pretty much saying that, look, Juliana killed my father, and her being gone tried to kill my father, and her being gone is probably the best thing because it's not only for my father's safety, but for the safety of everyone involved. So the fact that you guys keep probing this, you're making it worse. So why don't you just leave it alone? And Miss Thing is very slick with her words, as I said. She was like, you're perspiring, and you're shaking, and you're kind of slurring your words. It's kind of an indication that you're lying. Are you lying to me, Andre? And I'm like, this bitch is good. And then they had another run-in where still he's saying that, because like he came into the office and she was sitting there waiting. And then he was like, you know what? I'm not going to talk to you anymore unless my lawyer's present. So she's like, okay, but I'm gonna let you know something. When we were, a while back, were you afraid that someone was going to find us? She says, I wasn't afraid. It made me hot. I'm like, if you don't get your hot box ass out of here, damn hot pocket. Anyway, then later on, he's like, pretty much, got his like shirt unbuttoned. He's, in his little penthouse suite. And then next thing you know, we see old girl looking at him from a building across the way with some binoculars. I'm like, look at this crazy ass spot. Like, damn. And then she's like, take it off. Next thing you know, because Andre liked that crazy shit. So Andre, even though he can't stand her ass, he's also sexually stimulated by her. So then he starts taking off the tie, taking off the shirt, taking off the belt, and then she starts taking her stuff off. So I'm like, these crazy motherfuckers doing a damn striptease for each other. I'm like, wow. Crazy as it can get. Alright, another thing that went down too is that after that whole blow up at the studio, Lucious had a one-on-one with Jamal, and he again is probing, he again is like asking Jamal, like, look, tell me the kind of person I was, because I can't be denied. I mean, I know you guys are trying to protect me, but you're trying to protect me from me, and it just doesn't make any sense. I need to know who I am. I got to know who this other side to me is, because I have no recollection of any of it. So Jamal finally lets him know that when I was 6 years old, you threw me in the trash can. We were having a party at the house, and I came down in mom's scarf and heels, and I masqueraded in front of everybody, and you got so mad that you yanked me and threw me in the trash can. And he was like, oh my God. Like, I can't believe I would do something like that. And then Jamal's like, it's okay. It's like, no, it's not okay. I mean, Jamal was like, well, hey, you were brought up a certain kind of way, and he's like, no, that doesn't excuse the fact that I showed such prejudice to you, and I'm so wrong for that, and I do apologize. And we kind of see that this actually touched Jamal, because Jamal was kind of tearing up a little bit. Then we see later on he has a scene with fucking Warren. Now Warren is like, why haven't I met your dad yet? Are you keeping me a secret? Are you ashamed of me and all this? And he's like, no, it's not that. And he's saying that, look, I really want us to be together, but if we're gonna be, but then he's like, if we're gonna be playing this game where your family doesn't know who I am, then what good am I, and what good is it going to be based off of what we have? So after that, we see Warren was about to leave, and then after that, that's when, damn, Jamal, why did you tell him the shit? But he says that no, it's just really complicated. My father really suffered brain injury. He's having trouble remembering us, and that's why we're keeping him hidden. We're just trying to protect him and all of this. But, I do trust you, and I'm with you. And then all of a sudden we hug, and then we see damn Warren with that damn eye. I'm like, ooh, you gonna go back and tell that shit to that fucking Diane, and it's gonna be some shit. So now the wrong person knows about Lucious' condition. So I'm like, damn. Then we get Cookie. Cookie is still, she's pretty much now at the Forbes shoot or whatever, and they're doing it along with other businesswomen. And guess who's up in there? Hello, Cookie. It's nice to see you again. Miss damn Diane's evil ass. And she is just as smug, and then she in a corner talking shit about Cookie like, oh, Cookie never even had a GED, let alone any class. I mean, she was just talking buku shit, and Cookie had to confront her like, Diane, if you want to talk about me or say something to me, I'm right here. You ain't got to go in the corner and talk about me. And she's like, darling, everything, everything doesn't have to be solved with crime and violence. You should know that more than anybody, right? And I'm like, oh, Diane, you are really trying to get her to snap. Like, you mean bitch. And we already know that Cookie's still kind of pissed off because she got denied her loan or whatever. She got denied the extension to the credit line for Empire, from the Wall Street banker. But I'm going to get to that. So they're going through the shoot. She's still having flashbacks about prison. She meets this girl who's from Philly. At first, she didn't even know the girl. The girl was actually trying to extend her she was actually trying to help her or whatever. And Cookie just immediately jumps and beats her ass, but she was trying to give her some flip-flops. And then later on, she finally opens up and starts talking to her, and she lets her know that, look, a lot of us are in here because of men, but we hold each other down. Like, I'm from the south side of Philly, all these people from here, like this person from Camden, but she reps hard with Philly. She's saying, like, look, you got a family up in here. You just gotta, take it one step at a time. We ain't here to bash you. We here to include you. And, we got you. So next thing you know, we actually just see that, her and the girl end up becoming cool, and she ends up hanging with them. But it was still in that whole situation, Cookie having this flashback during the photo shoot with Diane and the rest of the businesswomen, that she just flips out and she's like, you know what, I can't do this right now. I'm just really frustrated. I went to get an extension, try to get an extension for Empire to do this project, and the damn Wall Street banker with his smug ass denied me. And I'm just really upset about it. And then all of a sudden she's like, well, maybe y'all don't understand where I'm coming from. Maybe I'm just ranting. And then Lay's like, I get you. I understand where you're coming from, because my husband, at one point had a heart attack, and I had 2 teenagers to raise, and I tried to get an extension from a banker as well, and I got denied. Me, a white woman. And she was a white woman, but she says, you know what, Cookie? I'm going to throw you $10 million, not only because my kids love Empire, but because you doing big things, And they said that, yeah, we all got to stick together. And I was like, that's what I'm talking about. Women coming together, to build, to keep each other afloat. And then all of a sudden, she had talked to Miss Diane, and she was saying that, look, I would like for us to put all this past stuff behind us. And she was like, okay, Cookie, you're impressive. You're impressive. And you kind of won for now. And yes, we should put the past behind us. We come to find out that damn bougie ass banker that denied them the extension, that was fucking Diane's cousin. And he's saying, yes, I separated Cookie from her money. And she's like, just drive and let's go. Because as soon as she gets into the car, we see his ass is up in there. So that whole time the dude was a plot. So then, towards the end of the episode, we see that Lucious is painting on the wall something that he never did when he was in his right mind. But he's painting, on this wall, and all of a sudden Cookie comes up like, what you doing? And he's saying that painting actually helps me to calm down, and it helps me to relax. So she's like, okay, well, good night. And then all of a sudden he was like, Cookie, I need to know. I need to know the truth. What really happened? Keeping things from me is not helping me. It's actually paralyzing me. So please tell me what's going on. Why were you gone for 17 years? And well, actually, no, that's not what happened. But let me backtrack. Well, she said good night, and then she turned around and was like, oh, Lucious, the reason why I was gone for 17 years was because I was in prison. And he said, well, were you in prison because of me? And she said, yes. So he's like, I want to know everything. Tell me everything. And that's where the episode ended. So now, Cookie's going to have to put him on game as to who Lucious was. The gritty, grimy, treacherous Lucious. He wants to know who that person is. So that's what I have, y'all. If I missed anything, put it down in the comments. I'd love to talk to you about it. But subscribe to my channel. Click that bell so you can get notifications every time I drop a video. Also, I've started a GoFundMe. Click that link in the description box as well. You should also like this video, comment this video, and share this video. And I will be back with the next episode of Empire. So until then, everybody, take care.